If you guys want to see me work on a car that's been sitting for over 10 years and see if it'll start, then you've come to the right place. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Rev Hard Garage. Today we've got a 1987 Toyota Supra in the garage. And this sucker's been sitting for a long time. And what I was told by the previous owner and the current owner is that it had started losing power, right? And so they just parked it, and then they never got it to restart again. So it's not so much that it's in bad condition as much as it is we've got some kind of something keeping it from starting. I don't know if it's fuel pressure. I don't know if there's some kind of electronic problem. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this thing and see if we can get something going on it. So y'all stay tuned. Alright guys, I just tried to put fuel in this thing and the fuel door won't open. It's bone dry. It has no fuel in it whatsoever. So I tried wedging something behind the door, pulling the cable, all that good stuff. I think the cable's probably broken. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Yeah. Probably not. Dang it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this fuel hat. See what's going on in here. I don't know if it's gonna look good. If it's gonna be a bucket of rust, I have no idea. It's a good start though, all the screws came out. I want to make sure you guys can see what's going on. Hopefully I can get this thing to sit somewhere. There we go. Alright. Oh Jesus. There's no fuel pump back here. This is not good at all. Not good. That smells horrible. Oh my God. Lord help me. Jesus. Can y'all see down in there? That's so bad. Oh my God. That's the lens. This is gonna go well, I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's see if the fuel pump runs at all. I don't hear anything at all. Great. We're gonna skip the fuel system for now. Move on to other things because that's not good at all. So I was told that it wouldn't fire also, as in it had no spark. So we're gonna try to figure that out, I think. And then maybe if we can get spark, might go ahead and look at changing the oil. I see a lot of bolts and stuff missing here. Probably some hoses and stuff. And I guess at that point, maybe I'll just fashion a temporary fuel cell. See if I can get it running. Well, it's got oil. So at least we can turn on her. Alright, she clicks, that's a start. Our maximum was nothing. Let's try this one. So I may have been on the ground side. Nothing. Alright guys, as you can see, I've been working on this car for a while, and basically I figured out that the fuel tank was shot. I'm not getting any spark, and I do have voltage at the ECU. I got that all taken out. It took me a while to find it because it was up under the dash right here. So I had to take the glove box out on some big piece of plastic, and so that's where this was bolted. So I'm going through checking everything out right now still, and so next I'm going to check for the crank sensor and the cam sensor, see if those are coming through. Clean some grounds on the, let's see, well, I fixed one ground for the ignition coils. The ground was just sitting there and I bolted it back down, so, but that didn't make any change. I did try to start it again just to make sure that didn't do anything. And I grounded the or I cleaned the grounds on the intake manifold. There's a bolt ground right there. I think it's got 6 wires going into it. I cleaned that, put it back on. That didn't make a difference. So now we're kind of down to, like I said, the crank or the cam position sensor. Alright guys, during diagnostic procedures, going through the Toyota manuals and whatnot, I was able to determine that the ECU is bad. So basically the easiest way that came about was that the engine light wasn't working. And I found a diagnostic for how to check all that, and I grounded the terminal, and the engine light on the dash came on, and it told me to check 2 grounds. I checked those 2 grounds and they were good. So it says, okay, if those grounds are good and the engine light's not working, the computer's bad. So here I am looking to see if I can see anything you know, obvious, and I'm not really seeing anything right off the rip. You know, I was hoping to see maybe a burnt solder joint or a cracked solder joint, something along those lines. And so far I haven't really come across anything. So I think what I'm going to do, because the other side of this thing, I can get to the back of both the boards basically, so it'll probably take me about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes at the most, to go through this board. And then if I flip this thing over, this is all the solder joints from the main board in here. So I'm still gonna look over it, you know. I'm looking over it now to see if I can see any cracked solder joints or anything. Some of them are a little questionable as far as, you know, they're kind of dirty or possibly even done before. Like you can see this group right here, those are a little corroded, and it's possible that is a cracked solder joint right there. Maybe both of those, I'm not really sure. Or it could be that they have been reflowed before, because it honestly kind of looks like they have been. So and then the other thing is, this one back here is definitely cracked. I don't know if that's causing the problem, but I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to try to get a better angle on it. If I can't get an angle, I'm also going to take a picture of it, but I don't know how the magnifying glass is going to do, so I'm going to try to do it with and without. But you can see that solder joint, where that prong is bent over, it looks like it has a crack in it to me. This thing has been reflowed. Some stuff's been reflowed before. All these dirty ones, you can tell the solder is a lot shinier. And the reason it's dirty is because the original coating that's on the board is kind of like a lacquer. And when you reflow the solder joints, that's what it looks like. So some of this has been gone over before, so somebody's definitely been in this thing at some point. I don't know when. It could have been 20 years ago for all I know. But let's hope we get somewhere with this. Alright guys, I finished reflowing the solder joints in the computer and put it back in, and it still didn't work. So I ended up having the owner order a new one. Well, not a new one, but I guess a refurbished or a used one. And so I've got that plugged in now. You can see the old one. And like I said, it just wasn't doing anything really. So I got the new one plugged in, and it sounded like it was trying to start. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuel tank poured out, and I've got the car up in the air ready to go. So got a new fuel sending unit to put in and a Walbro 255, so I'm gonna get that stuff going. And so yeah, now I'm just gonna go ahead and get the tank dropped out. I think the only real possible issue right now is I cannot get the fuel door open. I guess the cable is either broken or something's broken, the latch or something, but hopefully that's not going to keep me from dropping the tank. It just depends on how the gooseneck attaches and whatnot. So I guess I'm going to quit jibber jabbering and just get under there and see what I can do. So here we go. Alright guys, as you saw, I got the fuel tank out. I've got it outside. I put some rust eater inside the tank, and I've got it soaking now. I'll probably let it sit for a couple of hours and try to flush all the rust out. But even when I just pressure washed a little bit around the inside and turned it over, I mean, tons of rust flakes came out. So hopefully I can get this thing cleaned up. And now I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the fuel lines and stuff disconnected. I just went ahead and unhooked it from the tank and dropped the tank because all that stuff was just really stuck in there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get the hoses poured off and get the sending unit and all that stuff out, and we'll go ahead and start fitting the Walbro 255 and replacing those fuel hoses. Alright guys, as you saw, I got the fuel tank back in, got it filled up. I got most everything put back together, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to prime the fuel system and go ahead and try to flush all the lines and everything out before I hook the return line up to the tank. So, this is what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to put a light down here. I already kind of bumped it just to make sure everything was working. And I'm going to try to give you guys some dual screen action and see how that works out. But we can see how the gas looks. Alright, so all I gotta do now is hit this. Y'all see all that fuel coming out? Let's see how much we got. Looks like she's pumping pretty good. That's some pretty raunchy looking gas. Let's bump it one more time. Now what I want to do is get another bottle. Yeah, look at all that stuff that was in the fuel lines. So I want to get another bottle now and see what's currently coming out. See if we got most of that nasty stuff. I got plenty of Powerade bottles. So hang on a second. Alright, let's try it again. Hopefully we get some clean fuel out now. Here we go. Alright, let's see what we got there. Oh, that looks way better. Look at that. Shoot, we can pour that back in the tank. I like it. Alright, well, the fuel system appears to be in good shape now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the splash shields and everything back in the rear quarter panel. Put the interior back together, get all that stuff wrapped up, go ahead and close the back. And then we'll move on to the front and see if we can possibly get this thing to fire up. Alright, so the replacement ECU that we ordered had the exact same problem as the original. So the replacement ECU was bad. And there's not a lot of options for these things. There may be somewhere that you can send them off and repair them or something like that. But, you know, it's just, to me, it just doesn't seem like a very good option. So what we did is we contacted ECU Masters and got a computer set up from them. And they got a plug-and-play adapter for this car, which is cool. So basically all I had to do was download like a base map for this thing. It's all stock right now, so I downloaded a base map off of their website. I think it was off their website. It could have been a forum, I can't remember. It's a base map for the 7M GTE, and went ahead and put it in the ECU, and I actually did that about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had time to really work on this thing. So I've got that put in now. I got the wideband put in. I'll show you guys that stuff right now. The wideband's right here, and what I ended up doing, this is actually, this flange is part of the stock wideband sensor. So I basically cut the wideband, I mean the stock O2 sensor off, got everything ground out, drilled the hole out, you know, and everything, and I welded a stainless steel bung on here, TIG welded. So I've got the wideband put in. I had to, you know, run the wires into the car. I also got a line for the map sensor. And on something like this map sensor line, I like to use like a semi-hard line. I don't really like just plain rubber line because I'm afraid it's going to collapse over time or possibly get pinched off or something. So I really like nylon or that type of tubing for this stuff. So I got that ran from the manifold and got everything pinned in. I had to make an adapter harness because ECU Masters and all their glory and wisdom made it to where excuse that key chime there. They require a Boss LSU 4.2 wideband, and they don't have any provisions to plug it into the ECU at all, which I think is really something that they should probably consider changing, because if they require you to use that O2 sensor when you buy it, it's already a plug, you know, it's all one piece, and you don't have any way to pin it, you know, to the ECU and to the plug. So what I ended up having to do is I used some ECU pins. They're only using 4 pins on this, so I put 4 pins of heat shrunk them and basically just plugged them in, and I've got the wire zip tied off. I mean, it's a good connection. I just would have liked it a whole lot better if we had the other side of this plug and I could have, you know, terminated that. That would have been the proper way to do things, in my opinion. An ECU master should include that plug in their kit when they require you to use that part. So here's the computer. You can see the map sensor line, and like I said, I've got the bass tune in it already. So I am actually down to the point of where I'm ready to see if this thing's gonna start. So we are going to try that now, see if it'll run. I want to remind you guys, this thing's been sitting for about 12 years. So it hasn't been ran in a very long time. So we're gonna just hope everything's good, hope it starts up. I checked the oil. The coolant system's still empty. But once I get it running, they want me to flush the coolant system out, you know, and put new coolant and stuff. So if it starts, cross your fingers, that's gonna be next, to getting the coolant system straightened out, and then it's gonna go back to the owner. So here we go. Fuel pump runs. That's good. The factory computer don't even run the fuel pump until you try to start it. All right, here we go. Is it smoking? I can't see nothing.
Yeah, it's smoking.
Started right up. You can tell it's running a little bit lean. One thing that's cool about the ECU master computer is it does self-learn, so it shouldn't take very long at all for it to get itself together. I didn't even have to spray starting fluid in it. Hear all the rust on the fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard a clutch sound like that.
Sounds like it needs a new clutch.
Nah, it's just got probably rust all over the front of it.
I mean, it's been sitting for 12 years.
Surprised that fuel injectors aren't bad from sitting that long. Let's see what it looks like. Well, it's seen worse. It actually smells kind of rich. Sounds like it's running lean, but I don't know. Hopefully everything's working. I'll hook the laptop up to the computer and make sure it's not showing any codes or anything. See where we can make some improvements. I think I'm just gonna let it idle for a couple minutes. You know, maybe loosen the rings up or whatever, and we'll just, I don't know, like I said, I'll hook the computer up, check the codes, and go from there. I never turned the wheel. You know, some of these sports cars, it's real light. It's like power assist. So you might want to see how it feels while you're rolling. It might be different. I don't know. I hadn't even, this is the first time it's moved since it started. But yeah, you can pretty much just kind of roll. Just roll straight back. Yeah, your wheel, you're turning to the left a little bit right now.
Yeah.
There you go. You should just roll, just pretty much roll straight back. No. No, you should be alright. Alright, cut it to the right. Don't be nervous. It's the first time that car's driven under its own power in 12 years. It's still running kind of rough. I'll fill you guys in on all that. This camera's lighting's not that great. Alright, so basically what's going on is it's got two dead fuel injectors. So that's why it sounds like it's skipping, because of the fuel injectors. And basically because of the issues they were having with the car, really all that they needed me to do was get it running. So as you guys have seen, it took quite a bit of troubleshooting and testing and all that stuff to get it running. So that's really the part that they were having a hard time with. So now that it will start and run, you know, they can work on the other stuff. He's got brakes to put in it, new radiator, like just a whole bunch of stuff he's going to do to it. So we have met our goal. We got it running, and it sure is nice to bring a car back to life after, you know, it sat around for 12 years. So I'm pretty happy about that. One other issue it's having, the wideband for some reason is not reading in the computer. I checked the wiring. I did the update, and all that stuff is current. And so from everything I was reading online, you know, people were saying that if the wiring's right and you update the firmware, then it's probably an issue with the ECU, because several people said they had to send theirs back to the manufacturer and get them replaced. So he's going to contact them and see what they say about it, and let me know. But as of right now, this is a job done for me. Maybe later on, if he gets you know, gets the car in a lot better condition and get some stuff really going on it, you know, maybe we could have another video on it. But as of right now, I would say that's probably not too likely. So, but like I said, if the stars align, we might have another video on it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I know this has been a super long video, and you could probably see the frustration that I was going through at times, but you know, we got her going. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.